What's up, Tiger fans?
Got a couple Tiger fans in here tonight.
I'm Peter, the voice of the Tigers. This is Coach Dre Trosclair. We're live at Groves in North Thibodeau.
St. Patrick Street.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Come visit us.
If y'all don't worry, we'll be back at the Congo next Thursday. We won't be in y'all wake. All right, so we had the Jamboree. What did you take out of the Jamboree?
So I thought we played well. Obviously, we went out there in a rainy, stormy night. We were able to get a 28-0 victory over a 4A element team. I thought all three phases of the game played pretty well. We were happy with our offensive production and the lack of turnovers, as opposed to the week prior when we had 4 of them. We only turned the ball over one time last week, which was a definite improvement. But we'd like to see that number go down to 0 moving towards tomorrow night.
Right, and in the rain, like you said.
Yeah. So definitely opportunities for us to put the ball on the ground last week. I think the guys did a good job of being cognizant of keeping it high and tight and taking care of football. And I thought both the balance of the run pass game worked out pretty well. Obviously, people seen us come out in a more run style approach. And then whenever we got to the 2-minute offense late in the first half, we were able to jump back into the spread. Brady did a good job marching us down the field. We finished the drive with a touchdown. So just having the ability to be as multiple as what we've shown through 2 scrimmage contests so far, I think it's been pretty big for our offense.
What were the offensive highlights for the coaching staff?
So I think offensive line wise, you got to highlight those guys. Whenever they had the kind of week that they had, putting big holes for the running backs and keeping Brady upright. He ran a couple times, but for the most part, he was able to scan the pocket, and we got him on the edge on some bootlegs and things like that. But the offensive line was a big highlight for me. I thought last week. I thought Bubby did a good job throwing the ball, commanding the offense, and doing some of those things. It was good to see Griff come back, in his fullback role. Cody Gyro played well. I thought Kyron played well. Cam DiMaggio obviously caught a touchdown pass. Obviously dropped a touchdown pass, but for the most part, those guys did a really good job last week. Dominic Blanchard again, big, huge 65-plus yard touchdown run. So he's been a very explosive player through 2 weeks, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that from him this year.
Yeah, Dom had a nice run to start the scoring. Big old hole by the offensive lineman.
Yeah, it was a good job on counter. Obviously, Will and Carter were our backside two that kicked out, led through, and then Dom did the rest, with his legs. So obviously, I thought offensive performance for 2 quarters to go and score 28 points. Obviously, I thought that was a big night for us.
Yeah, because he hit that hole and there was nobody there. And once he was booking it, nobody was catching him.
He's gained a ton of speed. From last year to this year, he's a lot more explosive. So he's definitely going to be a home run hitter for us this season.
Right. So like you said, Dom started off with his run. Camden caught a touchdown pass. Kyron caught a touchdown pass. And Cohen ran one in from about 10-ish.
Yeah, something like that. Toward the end.
Right.
Yeah. And he did the same play. It was another counter play. So same thing, just different design to a different player. And then, like he talked about Kyron's touchdown, he just got behind the DB on a good route. Bubby read it perfectly in the end zone.
Perfect pass.
It was good throw, good catch, good protection from the guys up front. So, like I said, I thought offensive performance was really, really good last week for a 2-quarter performance to go and put up 28 points.
All right. Defensive highlights.
So I thought defensively, obviously, we held those guys to negative yards of offense last week. So, anytime you can do that, it's a big night for your defense. I thought defensively up front, our guys on the defensive line did a good job getting in the backfield, creating havoc, and just being productive when they got back there. We had quite a few sacks on their quarterback, who was a big athlete, good-looking kid, very good scrambler. So I thought that was a good job from our guys up front, Charles Howard, Jeremiah Jones, Roland Bynum. Those guys did a really good job there. And then, we sent the linebackers. It was good to have Tyler England back and Amari and Southall back. Those guys did a great job. But, being able to go with those guys and seeing the amount of pressure that we did last week, we did a good job mixing up our stunts and blitzes, I thought. And they did a good job of disguising them and also showing them to get into the right gaps and not getting moved out of gaps. So overall, it was a good performance from our guys, up front in the box. It was really a box guy night. we didn't have much happen in the secondary. They weren't able to get a lot of passes off due to the pass rush and the pressure that we were able to apply. And then their style of offense too, trying to run the football and things like that. So really our box guys, that front seven, front six, they did a really good job of containing them all night. And you can talk about any one of those six guys that made a ton of plays that night.
They ran a lot of shotgun, and they had a lot of trouble getting the snap to the quarterback. And like you said, our defensive line took advantage of that with 2 sacks.
Yeah, no, definitely they did. I mean, I was impressed. We got a guy in Roland Bynum who's a first-year starter this year. Jeremiah Jones, the first-year starter on the defensive line. The only guy defensive line-wise that we have returned was Charles Howard, and he missed about 5 games last year due to injury. So our entire D-line almost is replaced. And through the first 2 weeks of the season, it's pretty hard to tell that these guys are new starters. Obviously, we're going to play some more opponents that are going to give us more challenges than what we've seen so far. But you play the game in front of you play the team that's on the schedule, and through 2 games, I'm excited about our defensive line production, and I just think it's going to continue to get better.
They really look good. Not a lot of missed tackles, not a lot of mistakes.
I thought that was better. I thought, in week 1, we had a couple times where we did have people in the backfield where they didn't wrap up. But even technique-wise, like you see a down block, they did a good job squeezing that tackle, getting hands on the tackle. And our linebackers did a good job of making the defensive line right. So when the defensive line picks a gap, then our backers are doing a good job of getting into the opposite gap. That way they don't have cutback lanes, they don't have vertical run creases. And I thought our D-line's been doing a good job of staying on the heel line of the offensive line and not coming upfield to create those vertical run seams. So, obviously, like I said, so far so good through 2 games. The scrimmage through the jamboree. We just look to keep building off of that momentum that we've set forward so far.
Absolutely. Any other defensive highlights you want to talk about?
Yeah, secondary-wise, those guys are playing well. They're not getting a ton of opportunities, through the first 2 weeks. But, those guys are playing well. I think Lawrence, obviously, he's a team captain back in the secondary. He's doing a good job making sure the calls get echoed, whether it be the strength call or call from the sideline. Then we got Spencer Conrad, Robert Toller. Those guys are doing a good job. Ahmad Randolph. We got Maris Lee, who came in pretty good.
Kevin Vaskalaskis.
Dyson's another one. And Dyson's a versatile player because he's able to play in the box at backer, and he's able to bump out and play some safety in that overhang defender. So we put him in a bunch of different situations to make plays, and he did a great job last week of making plays in the backfield, making plays at the line of scrimmage, and then he goes under coverage as well. And he also did a good job with special teams blocking the punt.
I was so focused on saying his last name right. That I said his dad's name.
Yeah, no, he did a good job. He was impressive, in the 2 phases of the game that he plays. And he's one of those defensive starters for us that doesn't come off the field on special teams either. He's literally on every special teams unit we have other than PAT and the field goal team. So, he does a good job for as much as what we ask him to do. He does a great job when he gets out there every time in front of him.
Right, I was watching. He's definitely like a hype man on the defense.
Absolutely.
He's always talking to his players on the field. He comes on the sideline. He's hyping them up on the sideline.
Yeah. He's definitely a guy that guys gravitate towards. His energy, the energy that he brings, and the passion that he brings to the game on Friday nights is contagious. And I feel like our defense really does feed off of it. So he's been doing a great job with that so far. Through 2 games, and now that it's the regular season, these games actually matter. I expect that team to get ramped up a little bit more, and for the guys to kind of, piggyback off of what he's been able to do and the confidence that he brings to the football field each and every night.
All right. So speaking of special teams, Dyson blocked the punt. Any other special team highlights?
So I can talk about, I guess, a couple highlights and then a couple of areas that we need to improve.
Come on, Sean.
Sorry about that. But back to special teams. So I think we need to do a better job in our kickoff coverage. I think kickoff coverage was kind of a weak point for us last week. Those guys had too good of starting field position. Each time that we kicked off, we had 5 total kickoffs, and their average field position was around the 38-yard line. So anytime you do that, not very good on the kickoff coverage team. So we made some adjustments, and we spent a ton of time this week in practice on special teams. We worked all 5 units every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this week, to make sure that we're prepared and we put in enough time on those units to be good at them. So I think you'll see a definite improvement in our special teams game this week. We made an adjustment in our punt return game. You're only going to see one guy back there this week, and then we'll have 10 guys up front, or two back, 8 in the front, and then one guy back there returning kicks. You'll see Cody Oakland. He's going to be our guy back there tomorrow night, fielding punts. He's been doing a great job all week in practice. And then if you look at the PAT team, field goal block team, we made some adjustments there as well because I thought we had a couple guys that were penetrating on the interior gaps. So we made some adjustments. We worked really hard at it this week. Coach Newhouse is our special teams coordinator, has done a really good job this week of getting those guys focused and putting those guys in the right spots to be able to make some good plays. So very excited tomorrow night to see our guys perform special teams wise. And always, you got to talk about the weapon, Zach Hutchinson.
Yeah, all four,
he's doing a great job.
PATs.
4 for 4 on PATs, does a good job if he's asked to punt, which he hadn't been asked to punt earlier this year. And then in the kickoffs, whenever he doesn't have wind in his face, it's going to be a touchback 9 out of 10 times, which at the high school level is really hard to do. So we're excited about that, and then he's got some specialty kits that he's able to do if we want to sky it and things like that. So we're excited about what he's able to do, with his leg. And moving forward, special teams got to be a phase for us each and every week that we have the advantage, and we can really take advantage of it against some opponents that don't spend as much time on it as we do.
Normally we talk about freshman and JV game right now, but they were both canceled last night due to lightning, so we didn't get to see them play.
Okay, so the freshman game is definitely going to get rescheduled against South Lafourche. Both of us have some openings on our schedules to where we'll be able to get that going. The JV game is the only one that has a question mark because South Lafourche has 9 more JV games. We have 8 more. So if we can make it match up to where we can reschedule it, we might. Obviously, we want to go get those guys reps because those guys are important to develop in their game and make sure that we play on these JV and freshman nights. But definitely one of the two is going to get rescheduled. The JV one, we're kind of just waiting and seeing if something breaks open in one of our schedules.
All right, tomorrow night we're going down the bayou.
Yeah,
at South Lafourche. 2 versus South Lafourche, 7 o'clock. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. There is some rain in the forecast. All day Friday, all day Saturday. So we're looking forward to hopefully getting a break in the action to be able to have some football played. Hopefully we don't have to go through a bunch of rain delays and lightning delays and things like that. So kind of fingers crossed on that. But as far as our preparation and being ready to go out there and play the game tomorrow night, our guys have really done a good job this week. A week that's pretty difficult to practice. We're off Monday, so we have a practice day. Where they're off doing whatever they want to do. So it's a change of routine. And then same thing Tuesday, teachers had school, kids didn't. So it was a change of routine for our guys. But I thought all 3 days our guys were locked in and focused and did a pretty good job, especially on Wednesday this week in practice and doing what we asked them to do. So I feel like we're totally prepared for our season opener and really excited to go down there and open up the week one game against South Lafourche and get in.
Scouting South Lafourche, who are some players that y'all watching and kind of keying on tomorrow night or giving special attention to?
Yeah, so offensively for them, they're running back 21, last name Dardar. They call him Meathead. So Meathead Dardar, same guy from last year.
All right.
Really good running back. So he's kind of what makes them go offensively. Their quarterback, pretty good player, athletic, can scramble, can throw a little bit. He's a catcher for their baseball team. So I think those are the 2 guys that they kind of rally their offense around, as well as their H-back and slot receiver number 11. 11 is a guy that's able to kind of slip into the backfield or slip into the flats from, making it look like he's going to do a kick-out block and he slips, so they run some play action, RPO stuff with him. And he's a good route runner when he's in the slot. So those 3 guys offensively for them, I think, is kind of what makes them go. But they're a team that really wants to have success running the ball between the tackles. They run power a ton. Power was their favorite run that we scouted this week. They do run some inside zones, but they like to kick out blocks with their H-back. They're going to be in a lot of 20 personnel sets with 2 running backs in the backfield. So offensively, that's kind of what we're prepared for.
What do we have to do to go down there and get the victory?
So, in all 3 phases, we just got to play sound football. Defensively, we're going to have to – defensively for South Lafourche, Each and every week, being the offense that we play, we don't see a lot of film or any film for that matter on how these teams are going to align to what we run. So in the practice week, we're just kind of preparing for 3 to 4 defenses that we may see that night. And on the first drive, we'll see exactly what we're going up against. So then we'll make our adjustments from there. But I think our guys are prepared. So we got to make sure we do a good job, starting fast. Last year when we went down there, we did not start fast. Our offense didn't touch the football until the middle of the second quarter. We got down like a 17 or 21 nothing hole quick. But we did bounce back. We did find a way to respond. But that's not what we want to do. We don't want to get in a dogfight down there in the rain tomorrow night. We want to make sure we do a good job on special teams. That's why we put such an emphasis on special teams this week to make sure what happened last year doesn't happen to start the football game. But we're totally confident in the guys that we have back there that are going to receive kicks and do things like that. But we just got to play a clean game. I think we are a really good football team. If we take care of football on offense, if we wrap up and do the things we're supposed to do defensively, I think we're gonna create a couple of turnovers with the things that they like to do, and then just be really sound in the kicking game. Because in my opinion, we have one of the best kickers in the state of Louisiana. So special teams should always be a good time advantage for us. And then offensively, we look to take control of the game and move the ball on the ground, control the clock. So in a rainy weather game like this, our offense suits up perfectly to go and play in the rain against South Lafourche tomorrow night. We're going to be under center, so we don't have to worry about the snaps being an issue. And I think we need to make sure we take care of football. But kind of just in a nutshell, to answer your question, we got to take care of football offensively. Make sure we're wrapping up and being in the gap. We've got to be a gap sound defense tomorrow night. And then take advantage of the opportunities in the kicking game that we may present.
I'm predicting a run-heavy offense from both teams.
I agree with the prediction.
Anything else you want to talk about the game tomorrow night?
No, I just think, I know our guys are excited. I know our coaching staff's excited. We put in a lot of work heading up to this point to play in the game that matters. So, to start off the season 1-0 would be a big confidence boost for us going forward in the next week. Coming back home to play the home season opener. So got to go and take care of business on the road tomorrow night against an opponent that, at home, it's a tough opponent at their place. They're always a good team at home. South Lafourche always plays tough in their backyard. So something that we got to do a good job of doing. But our guys are totally aware of the situation of what we're going up against tomorrow night. So they're prepared to go and have a great night tomorrow night. And I'm excited to go see those guys play.
Let's go. Any questions for Coach Dre?
Quiet crowd tonight.
Any questions? Questions?
They may have one next week after we play a game that night. That is true. There was a newspaper article that predicted a 35-21 South Lafourche victory. So that is an accurate assessment, but our guys in our locker room don't think that that's going to happen.
Yeah. I might have to go on FanDuel and
take the other side of that, huh?
Yeah, take the points, man. Take the points. All right. Well, no questions. You have anything else?
No, I'm good, man. Look forward to see everybody tomorrow night. Obviously, bring your rain gear. It's supposed to be wet.
Bring your poncho,
Bring
your
your umbrellas,
umbrella.
anything to make yourself comfortable. But come out, see our guys. They've been working their tails off, so they definitely deserve your support.
Absolutely. And I want to thank our producer, my little brother Andy.
No doubt, did a good job getting
Looking it up. Bayou Country Cruise.
Thank you, Darius.
Bayou Country
Darius
Cruise.
for letting us use the girls
LLC.
tonight to change
Darius and Jonathan for letting us use the girls tonight. The regulars and girls for accepting us tonight.
Making us feel welcome.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.